promote high-quality development of the capital market, and he will also take our questions. And today we will also have the risk officer from the CSRC, Mr. Yan Bojing. And also we have deputy from the Department of the Supervision, and also the deputy from the Department of the Public Offering. And first, I would like to give the floor to Mr. Chao to give us an introduction. Friends from the media, good afternoon. Today, we will release 4 documents. By taking today's opportunity, first of all, I would like to brief you about the situation of the guideline and the documents. In order to follow the spirit of the Central Financial Conference and also the deployment from the CPC Central Committee and the State Council, CSRC has worked with relevant authorities to solicit suggestions, and we have decided to release 4 documents. The first one is to strengthening the quality control of the IPO companies, and the second is about the document to regulate the IPO companies, and also the third one is to improve the financial banks in China, and also the fourth one is about to strengthen the self-development of the China Securities Regulatory Commission. For the first 3 documents we will be releasing today. And the last one is about the development of the CSRC, and we will also publish a press release today. So when drafting the document, we are focusing on the several aspects. First, we will be problem-oriented. So we will be follow the guidance from the General Secretary to build a standardized, open, transparent, dynamic, and resilient capital market. We will face the challenges and also respond to the market and make sure that we have a healthy capital market in China. And the second, we have to strengthen the oversight, forestall the risks, and promote the development. So in strengthening the oversight and forestall the risk is the basic requirement to promote the development. And we have received a lot of comments and suggestions from different sectors of the society. For the document, it has emphasized the importance of the strengthening and the tightening of our oversight. And also we have to protect the lawful rights of the consumers, investors, and also to cultivate a great number of the high-quality IPO companies and listed companies. And we have to face all types of the challenges and also to be self-disciplined for the CSRC team. Third, we have to be systemic and take overall approach. So for the document itself, it has a whole process, monitoring, and the oversight. So first, I would like to give you a briefing about the document. So for the first one, it's about we have to make sure that we guard the entrance of the IPO, focusing on we have to take a whole process supervision in different aspects for the IPO. We have 8 measures. The first one, we have to review the applications, make sure that the IPO should not be used as a tool for making money. And for the fraudulent information and financial reporting, we will crack down on all of those illegal behaviors and acts. And also, we will be the goalkeeper, and also we will set up a regulation mechanism. We have to emphasize the role of the stock exchange. We have to review the qualification of the IPO applicants. And also we have to consider the situation of the secondary market and take necessary measures for the counter-cyclical adjustment. And also we will have spot chat and on-site checking for the IPO applicants. We have to raise the standards for the IPO, to review the qualification for all of these applicants. And also we have to monitor the behavior of those stakeholders and the major shareholders. We also have to establish an accountability mechanism to review the applicants' qualification. For some of them, if they violate the discipline of the party, we will help these people accountable. The second is about the regulation on the listed companies, and this will help to improve the value of the listed companies, and also we will crack down on the illegal behaviors for the fraud, and also we will emphasize the importance for the dividend payouts. We release 18 measures. So first, we will establish a punishment mechanism to crack down the illegal acts, for example, to produce false information for the application. And also we have to manage all the illegal acts such as the market manipulation and insider trader. And also we have to check the qualification for the applicants. And also we have to monitor the risk from the cash. And also we need to clarify the responsibilities for the listed companies. And also we will encourage qualified listed companies to conduct the buybacks of the shares. And the third one is the document to rectify some of the improper management and also the improper actions. So this will help the companies and enterprises in the industry to improve their capability. And we will crack down on the controllers on their unlawful behaviors in infringing the rights of the investors and the consumers. And also we will provide more training to the practitioners and people working in the industry, and we will work with the local authorities to improve the business environment. And also we will try our best to improve our management of the equity funds to provide better services to the investors. And also we will give more management of the assets for the shareholders into the capital market. And also, we have to abide by a number of regulations and laws, and also be self-disciplined during this whole regulation process to make sure that for all the institutions in the industry can improve their functionalities and capabilities. So the fourth document is about the development of the CSRC. And this will help the CSRC to boost the development of the capital market in China. And this also emphasized the importance of the strengthening and the tightening of the regulation. And the CSRC will be strictly guided by the party. And it laid out three aspects. The first one is about to improve the political awareness of the CSRC. Everything we do is to serve the people and serve the party. And we also have to implement the concrete actions. And also we have to protect the lawful rights for small and medium investors. And second, we have to improve our capabilities. So, for example, we have to create a qualified team, and also we need to have a very strict accountability mechanism. And also we emphasize the importance of the can-do spirit and the commitment from our team. And we have to be self-disciplined, and also we have to stay committed to crack down on the corruption. After we release the four documents, and we will also roll out more provisions and rules as well as actions. With all those policies and actions, This will help us to promote the stability of the capital market and also make sure that we stick to the path of the development with Chinese characteristics for the market. Thank you. Now the floor is open for questions. With Hongxin News. And just now during your introduction, you mentioned that we have to guard the entrance of the IPO and also to improve the capability of the listed companies. Can you tell us more about the measures? I would like to turn to Mr. Yan Bujing to answer your question. Thank you for your question. So this time for the CSRC, we attach great importance to guard the entrance of IPO. This is problem-oriented, and also it rolled out a number of measures to guard the entrance of the IPO. So for some of these measures, they are strengthening measures compared to our previous measures, and also we have some new rules. But the ultimate goal is to strengthen our regulation. I tighten our measures. In reality, we found that for some of the IOP, the listed companies, they're not regulated, and for certain companies, they're also providing fake information in their financial status. So we will regulate in different aspects from their operation. For the potential IPO candidates, they have to take the responsibility to submit their information, and also for the brokers, they have to be the goalkeeper. They have to check the information for these IPO applicants to make sure that all the financial information are accurate. So for the financial brokers, and also we will also establish a regulation mechanism taken 3 years as a framework. So for the stock exchange, they also have to review the information. They have to strictly review the information submitted by the listed companies. For the CSRC, we also have to take a coordinated role to improve our on-the-spot inspection and check. If we found some of the flaws, we have to review every process during the application of these IPO applicants. At the same time, we will listen to the suggestions from the market and raise the threshold for IPO. I would like to mention 3 aspects. First, before the IPO, we have to make sure that the market need to have a very solid plan and make sure they have a comprehensive business plan. And we have to make sure that for the key stakeholders, they have a good reputation. And also we have to emphasize on certain parameters for the IPO in certain boards. We found that for certain boards, they have a lower threshold for the IPO. So we will guide the enterprises to the required and the proper boards for IPO. And in this regard, we will listen to the suggestions from the industry. We will do systemic studies. First of all, we will review the information in the past few years to learn the experiences from the listed companies. So, and also we will ask the stock exchange to change their standards to admit IPO. By doing that, we will help the enterprises with different size and the financial status to go public. And also, we have to pay attention to the specific companies. For example, for some of the science tech companies, on a certain stage, they may not gain profitability, but that doesn't mean that this company do not have the qualification to gain profit. For some premium science tech companies, after they're being listed, and they will seek growth in the long term. But we have to review the qualification and also the capability of those IPO applicants, and we will also seek advices from the expertise in the industry so as to protect the sci-tech development. Thank you. Next question, please. With CMG, we just heard that from the chairman, Chao. So for the CSRC, we emphasize the importance to crack down corruption and to be self-disciplined in the CSRC. I would like to understand what measures will be taken by the CSRC to provide solid foundation to boost the development of the capital market in China. Thank you for your question. So for the capital market, is highly standardized and transparent. This requires us to have a clean market. When I say clean, it refers to every aspect. For example, the financial corruption will damage the capital market and also create chaos in the market. And also this will also damage the reputation for the regulatory commissions. I believe investors will work against all these kind of behaviors. So for the CSRC, we have learned the spirit from General Secretary and also follow the spirit from the Central Financial Conference and making sure that we will be led by the party and strictly followed the instructions from the party governance. So first, it's about the fighting against the corruption. During the qualification review stage, I believe there were many corruption loopholes. So for the CSRC, we have worked together with our enforcement task force to crack down on some of these illegal behaviors. So as of now, we have handled 16 cases related to corruption. And also we have found some of the senior leaders. They are also coming from the CSRC, and also some of them, they are senior leaders or practitioners in the capital market. And all of these illegal acts will lead to financial crisis and also hurt the interest and the lawful rights of the investors. Second, we have to establish a mechanism to fully guard against the corruption. So we need to have a sound system to fight against the corruption. For example, we have to learn from the cases and also to tighten our measures on corruption. For example, we have to crack down on the shadow banks, and also we have to take a number of different dimensions to establish a network. And also we need to look at different aspects from the operation of the authorities to make sure that our mechanism can be sound and effective. And third, we have to be more transparent in guarding against the corruption, making sure that some of the power can be weakened in the authorities. And also we will establish a punishment mechanism to work against the bribery. And third, we have to raise people's awareness to resist corruption. So discipline is very important for each time for the CSRC. Each time when we handle a case, we will carefully study the case and learn from the case. And we will provide education to our staff and to make ratification within our organization. In 2023, we have established an education base. So in different time slots, we will send the officials to go to those places to learn from the experiences. So I think transparency is very important for us. We have to stay vigilant, and also we have to work under the supervision from different aspects. And in the future, the CSRC will work with the enforcement task force and shoulder the responsibility to make sure that we follow the guidance from the party. Thank you. Next question, please. With the securities paper. So from the Central Financial Conference, it emphasized the importance to strengthen the oversight and forestall the risk. And you just mentioned that we have to expedite the construction of the stock exchange and also to guard against the risks and the challenges. Can you tell us more about these actions? Thank you. Thank you for your question. So for the market, they pay a lot of attention on the healthcare market. As a regulatory commission, we attach great importance to the investment industry. So they have to be the goalkeepers, and by doing that, it will help us to guard the entrance of the IPO and also boost the development of the capital markets. So I would like to elaborate on this. So all in all, I would say the most important thing is to strengthen the oversight, forestall risks, and also to create a healthy environment. In strengthening the oversight, we do find that for some cases, for some companies, if they're being checked and they will try to withdraw from the overall process of the regulation. So we will pay attention to all these issues and all these companies, making sure that once the IPO applicants, they have to take responsibilities after they decided to go public. And on site, we have to check the information sharing and also to improve the synergy of the oversight. And we also talk about the accountability issue. So we need to take a whole process oversight and also to check the people and also check the enterprises. And also we have to refer to specific regulations and laws, especially for senior leaders, for example, the heads, the president or the shareholders in the investment industry. We will give more penalties to these key figures. And for those who would facilitate with the fraud, maybe these people are coming from the brokerage companies, and also we will help these people accountable. And we will try our best to include all the activities and held accountable for their criminal and the civil responsibilities, making sure that for the investment banks can serve the real economy and also to protect the lawful rights of the consumers. For example, for some of the key sets of the investment banks, they need to recommend good companies, qualified companies, and also we have to make sure that we will block those unqualified companies out of the capital market. And in improving the ecological environment, we need to leverage the existing resources. For example, right now we already have a qualification review mechanism, and we will take advantage of this mechanism. And also we will be more transparent in our release of the information. By doing that, it can help us to crack down some of the illegal behavior, and also we will give punishment to those people who give briberies, make sure that these people can be penalized so that we can create a clean, equal environment for the capital market. And of course, we will continue to follow the guidance of the Central Financial Conference, and making sure that for these intermediate companies can be the goalkeepers. Thank you. Next question, please. With Southern Urban Paper, for some of the listed companies, they may take some of the financial fraud. And my question is, for the CSRC, what measures will be taken to crack down on the financial fraud from the listed companies? I would like to take your questions. For the fraudulent financial information, this actually hit the bottom line of the capital market. We have to severely crack down on this illegal behavior. And for the CSRC, attach great importance in this regard. And this is also one of our top priority in our work. But still, we have room for improvement. So in the future, we will work with local authorities to form the synergies to crack down on the financial fraud. I would like to mention a few points. First, we have to fight the 5 types of behaviors. The first one is the systemic fraudulent creation. For those who provide support in the financial fraud, we will give them a lot of penalties. Second is the false issuance of the shares. So we have to make sure that for those pseudo financial entities, we have to block them out of the capital market. And the third, for those who have abusive use of financial reports or the accounting reports, we need to take serious actions to fight against them. And the third is about the fraudulent information about the empty circulation and other types of the frauds. So for all of these 5 types, these are our key responsibilities. And in addition to the administrative penalty, we need to take more actions to crack down on those illegal acts. For example, we will work with the police stations to find out all of those offenders. And also, we will hold those people accountable for their criminal and civil responsibilities. And we have to raise the cost for offending laws. For example, we will issue a huge amount of the compensation package for the offenders. So for the financial fraud, if that happens in certain listed companies, we have to make sure that these companies will exit the capital markets. And inside of the listed companies, we have to make sure that all of them have internal mechanism to guard against all of these challenges and risks. So for the board and the auditing committee, I think they have to show them more responsibilities in finding out loopholes in their financial reports. And also we encourage the whistleblowing internally for those listed companies. In the end, we have to give stronger responsibility for the intermediate companies. But for those financial intermediaries, if they're facilitating the listed companies to do the frauds, we will also give penalties to those intermediary companies. And if we found some of the clues for the fraudulent information provided by the intermediary company, then we will also give penalty to those affected entities. Thank you. Next question, please. With Phoenix TV, I also realized that in the documents we are going to release, so we will continue to conduct the random checks of the listed companies. What is the consideration? What will be the next steps? And Mr. Yan will answer your question. Thank you for your attention to the on-site check and inspection for the listed companies. This is a lawful right that has been empowered to the CSRC. For the enforcement task force, we will do our job to conduct the on-site check. In 2011, we already released a document detailing the different steps for the review and the checking of the IPO companies. So in the past few years, we already conducted the review for over 100 companies. If we found some fraudulent information provided by those listed companies, we will help them accountable. And by doing that, it will help us to see more transparent information from the listed companies. And right now, we have learned from our previous experiences and also amend some of our documents. One key amendment, I would like to emphasize that. So for some of the companies, during the inspection, if some of the IPO applicants withdraw their application, we will continue to check these companies to make sure that all the law offenders can be held accountable. That means that once we conducted the inspection and regulation, we will continue the regulation till the very end. And also we are adding more procedures for the regulation, and we will conduct the random check, random supervision in the IPO applicants. And going next, we will continue to raise the percentage for the random regulation and supervision. And especially, we will follow up with the problematic IPO applicants. If we found some of the financial fraud in some of these IPO applicants, we have to make sure that these people and companies will be penalized. And this will help us to improve the quality of the listed companies. Thank you.
Thank you. Market News International. The CSRC stepped up regulation on shareholding reduction last August, but it has not completely prevented major shareholders from implicitly liquidating shares at high prices after listing. I would like to ask what more stringent and specific measures will be introduced in the future to improve regulation on reductions by major shareholders. Thank you.
美国国际市场新闻社，去年8月，证监会已着手规范股份减持行为，但仍未能完全阻断上市公司高价发行后曲线减持的渠道。请问后续会出台哪些更为严格、具体的措施，以完善大股东减持的相关规则？
Thank you for your question. So I will invite Mr. Guo from the IPO division of the CSRC. And going next, we will continue to check our standards on the deduction of the shareholdings. So we have to look at different aspects and make sure that each step will be supervised and regulated. First, For example, we have to check if there is a false collapse of the board of directors. And also we need to make sure that for the key figures and the key shareholder companies, they're not able to conduct the shortings of the stocks and also to conduct the securities margin trading. If we found that there is some problems for the reduction of the share offloading, and then we will bring these people accountable. With China News Service, and Mr. Li just mentioned that for the CSRC has emphasized the importance of the self-disciplined development of the CSRC. What are some of the key measures taken by the CSRC to improve the discipline and overall capability of CSRC? Thank you for your question. So for a long time, the public has attached great importance to the development of CSRC. They also have a lot of anticipation for our development. We listen to the suggestions from them and also try our best to improve our behaviors. In a press conference during the 2 sessions, our chairman, Wu Qing, emphasized that we need to strengthen our oversight and also forestall risk. And at the same time, we have to improve the discipline for the CSRC. And also the day after, we have organized an internal meeting to make sure that we can do more to improve the self-development of the CSRC. And in the past few years, we can feel that we do gain a lot of progress in the development of the CSRC's work. And this will also help to improve the reputation of the CSRC. We earnestly studied the remarks made by General Secretary Xi Jinping and also implement the requirement posed by the Central Financial Conference and the Committee. Stand at a political stance, we have formed a systemic mechanism to improve ourselves. In drafting the outline, we have to focus on 3 areas. The first one, we need to follow one unified standard. That is to raise our political awareness. And second, we need to follow and serve the same goal, that is to provide a solid foundation to promote the development of the capital market. And third, we have to continue our efforts in tightening the oversight and the forestall risks. Right now, we are seeing the rapid development of the capital market, and our team is quite young, but we have withstand the test. And we also gained a lot of development in the past few years. But still, we have room for improvement. I believe we still have some weakness. As Vice Chairman Mr. Li just mentioned, we need to be more tough and cope with the challenges and make sure that we can tighten our work in all aspects and solve the problems inside of the organization. And I also want to add on 4 points in improving ourselves. First, in regulating the capital market, we need to build up more political organizations and provide education to the officials from CSRC. We have to stay to our aspiration, that is to use the financial tools to serve the market and serve the society, and also to fulfill the responsibilities that has been deployed by the CPC Central Committee. And we would like to make sure that we have a correct political stance in strengthening oversight, forestall risks, and promote the development of the capital market. And also, we will continue to do the routine inspection, make sure that the systems and the policies can be put in place, and make sure we have a very strict standards in fulfilling our duties. For some of the key figures, if they left their post, and this will also hurt the reputation for the CSRC. And later on, so we will also look at those people who left the CSRC and to take overall governance to improve the capability of the enforcement. And also we need to strengthen our oversight. Strict is the key word in our daily routine work. So we also have to improve our regulation and oversight mechanism, and we need to allocate sufficient manpower to do the job. We make sure that people can fulfill their work and make sure that we can promote the development of the capital market. And also, we need to take immediate actions when we cope with challenges, especially when we are looking at the issues related to the corruption. We have to make sure that we strictly follow the party guidelines and the leadership. We will carefully study the instructions from the CPC Central Committee and also respond to the urgent needs and the concerns from the market. We will spare no efforts to solve the problems, make sure we can build up a good image of the CSRC. Going next, we will continue to implement the measures to promote the high-quality development of the capital market. Thank you. Next question, please. With Economic Daily. My question is, in improving the adaptability and improving the quality of the listed companies and accommodate to the new quality productive forces, what are some of the considerations of the CSRC? During the two sessions, when General Secretary Xi Jinping attending a group discussion in Jiangsu province, he emphasized the importance to develop the new product quality development. And I think this is very important to leverage the importance of the capital market. And this will help to boost the new quality productive forces. So first, we still have to pay attention to the quality of the listed companies. And this shows us that we are inclusive in adapting to the new quality productive forces. And also for those already being listed companies, they have to take advantage of the capital market. For example, for some of the companies, through the M&A and also the incentive mechanisms, these companies can also make their own contribution to promote the new quality productive forces. Third, we have to look at the different layer of the market. For example, we will look at the venture capital funds. Thank you. With the first finance, And Chairman Wu from CSRC emphasized the importance that we need to follow one cornerstone and 5 pillars to consolidate the underlying stability of the capital markets. So, in boosting the services of the CSRC, what measures will be taken by the CSRC? Thank you for your question. And this time, we are releasing the document to improve the capability of the investment banks and also the securities and regulatory sections. We also listed about 20 measures. I believe this will help to set up a roadmap to further improve the development of the investment industry. So I think the cultural development and the corporate governance are top of our list. So first, we need to give a good proposition and a positioning of the investment banks and investment industry. So for the Central Economic Conference, so we do found that in many aspects, we do have some weak links. So this time when we are rolling out the suggestions, we have to continue to follow the instructions from the party. We need to better analyze our risks and give evaluation of the challenges and improve our managerial capability so as to improve the functionalities of the financial institutions and the investment banks. And in improving the corporate governance, I believe that this is very important for the financial entity. And this time, according to our document, we will require these companies to lay out a solid plan. For example, we need to see a very clear shareholder map, and also we need to understand the responsibilities for different stakeholders. For some of the listed companies, they need to have a very clear mechanism to disclose their financial information. And also for this mechanism also help to raise the ethics and the value of the investment banks and the investment industries. And for these companies, they also have to carefully supervise their transactions. We need to improve the compliance and also to apply the assessment. First is the risk management, and also the other one is the compliance management for the corporate. The third one is to improve the cultural development in the financial sectors. And in certain companies, I believe we do see some people, they are quite extravagant, and this will also undermine the image of the industry. So this time, we have to follow the spirit from the Central Financial Conference so as to consolidate the underlying stability of the capital market. So for the people, when they're entering into a financial institution, we need to check their qualification. And if some of the people, they are lacking of the ethical, moral standards, and we need to give more penalties to those people. And also we will make this information open and public. By doing all of that, making sure that these people will not stay in the capital market. And also we will work with relevant authorities to manage the compensation structures. By forming the synergies, we have to make sure that we can tighten our measures and to ensure that we have a good image in the capital market. I think this is very important for us to build A-level investment banks. So for the investment industry, they need to have 5 key roles. For example, they need to sustain the stability of the capital market, they need to spot the challenges, and also they need to give better returns to the investors, and also they will help to further open up the market. We will work with the relevant institutions to improve the financial support, make sure that we can provide the financial services to the investors and the consumers. And we are trying our best to provide support to the science-tech development and green development of the nation. Thank you.
继续提问。还有记者对这个主题非常关心哈，还有不少记者提问。我们时间关系。
Due to the time limit, one last question.
这位男记者。
谢谢主持人，我是
With the paper.
投资者买股票
So I believe that for
能否谈一
the
下
investors, when they are buying the shares, they are actually
投资价值，让
becoming
投资
one
者
of
更有
the
获得感。
ownership for the listed company. So what measures will be taken by the CSRC to protect the rights from the investors?
好，谢谢您这个问题。
Thank you for your
上市
question.
公司啊，是
So
他们
for
资本
the
市场基石
listed companies,
所以
they
我
are
很
the
认同
foundations
来讲
of the capital market. That's why we are saying when the investors buy stocks, they are buying ownership share of a listed
但是
company.
呢，在提升投资价值，特别是增强投资
So
者获得
however,
感
in
方面，
fulfilling the sense of gaining of the investors, we still think we have a long way to go. So I would like to mention 3 aspects. The first, we have to encourage the listed companies to pay back to the investors. For the listed companies, they are actually good students among
在回报投资者
the
方面
others.
当然应该有
So
更
we
高的
have higher requirements for the
因为只有
listed
这样啊
companies.
这个一家上市公司
So that's why these listed companies will attract the investors, and they will sustain the investors eventually. So first, we will provide more guidance to the listed companies,
让主要的指数成分股公司呢更
and
加自
we
觉
will
回报投
improve
资者。
their
我们还要
awareness,
推动
make sure
相关
that they
部门
could
把这
give
个
better
上市公
returns
司
to
提
the
升投
investors.
资价值的这个工作，或者叫市值管理工作，纳入内
And
外
also
部考
we
核
will
评价的体系，
establish
这样
a
呢能够更好地
evaluation
发挥
system
优质上市公司的示
to
范引领作用。
see the
此外，对
performance
于
of the
破净
listed
的公司，
companies.
我们也要督促他们
And third,
提出这个改
for
善投
the
资价值的
poor performing
第二个
listed
方面
companies, we will
就是推
encourage
动
them
更多
to
的上市
do
公司
better.
分红回购。
And
对于
for
多
some
年
of
不
the
分红
companies,
或者分红极
if
少的
they
这些公司
provide fewer
综合
dividend
其他的指标
to
对
the
相关的股票
investors,
实施
so
风
we
险
will
警示
provide the warnings
督促
to
这些
those companies.
我们还要推动绩优的
And
公司
for
结
the
合半年报、
listed
三
companies,
季
if
报
they have good
实施
performance, and then we will encourage them to provide the dividend payout
同时
many
呢，我
times
们还要引导
in
和
a
支持
year.
更多的上市公司回购
And
股
also
份
we will
并且
encourage
呢
more
鼓励
listed
回购股
companies
票
to
市场对这方面也很关注。
buy back
第三
their
呢，是支
shares.
持公司呢这个夯实
And also we will
基本面。
encourage the
刚才
listed
呢，李超副
companies
主席也讲
to
到
consolidate the
我们要支持上市公司呢并购重
stability
组
of the
包
market.
括呢
For
鼓励上市
example,
公
we
司
encourage
运
them
用
to
全激
merge
励
with
等
each
资本
other,
市场
and
工
also
具
we
来
encourage
提升
them
他们的业
to
绩，做优做强。另外呢，我们要督促
use
上市
more
公司加
financial
强跟
tools
投资
to
者的
improve
沟通
their
了解
functionalities.
投资者
They
的
have
诉求。
to
酒香呢也怕效
learn
果深
more
上市
about
公司呢
the
理应
demands
做
of
好
the
投资
investors.
者关
So
系的
for
管
these
理，
listed companies,
积
they
极地
have
采取措
to
施来稳
maintain
定
a good
投资者的
relations
信
with
心。
the investors
另外，
so
我
as
最
to
后还想补
maintain
充呢，就是有一个方面的
a
事情
good
也很重
synergy
要，
with
就是
the
我们
investors.
还要从严监管
And
借壳上市
by taking this
和盲
opportunity, I
目跨
also
业
want to
并购，坚
emphasize
决打击
we
炒壳
need
行为。
to strengthen
这样
our
呢
oversight
才能
for
够
the
强化
listed companies
优胜
to
劣
make
汰
sure
的
that
机制，
those good
营造更
companies
好的
stay
市场
and poor performing companies out of the market.
好，
Thank
谢
you.
谢李主席，
Thank
谢谢
you
各位
all the
发布人，谢
speakers.
谢各位记者朋友们的参与。
That's the
今
end
天
of
的新闻
today's
发布
press
会就到这
conference.
里，
See you
大
next
家再
time.
见。
谢谢大家。